Hello there. In this topic, we're going to talk about SAP Smart Data Access. We already got introduced to SAP Smart Data Access. Here, we will walk through how to set up Smart Data Access with the HANA database. Let's go to the server and see how to do this. Now, we're going to use the provisioning from the provisioning folder. So, if you open the provisioning folder, you will have something called the Smart Data Access. If you double click on the Smart Data Access, you will actually see all the queries running. You can also monitor the connection and take a look at the system properties. So if I click on this particular open configuration, it takes you to the configuration page. And then here you can type smart and it automatically search for it, and then it goes here. Okay, now let's take a look at how I have created this connection. The first thing is you go back to provisioning, and if you take a look at the remote sources, I have one HANA source. That means I am connecting to another HANA box. But in this example, I am connecting to the same HANA box. So what I'll do is I'll delete this connection and I'll recreate it. So I'll delete this connection and I will recreate it. So creating another connection is very simple. You right click on the remote sources and you click on new remote source. Now keep in mind that there are a set of drivers which are pre-installed for standard set of sources. So for example, ASE, Teradata, IQ, Hadoop, HANA, Oracle. So all these are standard data sources. Hadoop may not be, but it's still a part of the data sources available for us. So we can select a data source. So we can say HANA ODBC, and this has to be index server. So let it be at index server. Here you need to provide the server name and port. It's already pointing to the driver which is going to be used. In some cases, you might have to use a data source name. For example, in SQL Server, you will have to pre-program a data source before you come here. So let me give my server address. So that's going to be syshtb9, and then the port is 30015. And then you need to give the username, password. All right. So now if you can execute this connection and check if it's working fine. If you see here, remote source created, connection to remote system has been established, and you see that a new connection called HANA New has been created. Okay, let's go and explore it. So if you expand it, you will see something like this, and then if you expand that, you will see all your schemas. So these are all your schemas which are available in your database. So you can also see our own schema. If you can come down to training right about here, and then if you expand it, you will see all those schemas and you will see all the tables. Now this is part one. So obviously now we have to create something called the virtual table on top of this particular data, metadata. You can consider that as a metadata to be able to use it inside the HANA database for modeling. Okay, so let's see how to do that. Let's see how to first create a virtual table. Now I can go to training, and then I can pull up the USA customer, and I can right click on it and I can say add as virtual table. Okay, so when I say that, it's going to say table is going to propose a table name HANA new underscore US underscore customer, let it be, and then it's going to ask you to which schema you want to store it inside. So I'm going to keep it inside training 1. Keep that in mind. This is going to be training 01. All right, so we can create it. So the virtual table has been created in training 01. Let's go take a look at how a virtual table looks like. Now I'm going to go back to the actual HANA box, which is right about here. We go back to the catalog folder. We come down here to training 01. We hit refresh. And now when you go to the tables, you will be able to see the HANA new table. So you see this green mark here, that is because it's a virtual table. Okay, now if I right click on this and if I say open definition, you see that it says table name and schema and everything is frozen, and all the way here it says a remote object. Okay, now if you right click on it and if you say open data preview, then it's pulling up all the data from the source system. Now if you want to see a little bit more about how this query is breaking down, first thing is obviously you can go down to the provisioning, which is right about here. So you can use this collapse all if you're lost, and then it's an easy find from there. You can go to provisioning and you can click on smart data access, and if you refresh it, you will see that the latest query is select HANA new underscore US underscore customer. So that has been the latest query which has been created or which has been run on the virtual connection. All right, so I'll just show you how the query breaks down and how it goes to the remote source. So what we can do is we can copy this SQL statement and we can close it real quick, and we can go back to, all right, we can go back to the SQL console. I'm going to paste it here real quick and then semicolon, and then there is a functionality called explain plan and visualize plan. So this is very similar to what you have in Oracle. So you can choose either one. I'm going to go to visualize plan, and this is going to switch the perspective, the plan visualization. Don't worry about this. We will see in detail how to use the different perspectives when we start the modeling section. So this is the actual breakdown of the query, and if you come down here all the way, it says it's a virtual HANA table. All right, so let's execute this real quick and see the actual remote column scan. Now we actually know what exactly happened. So there were 4094 records.